Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I feel like I haven't been on YouTube for ages because I haven't had my camera. No, I am back from my trip, which was unbelievable. It was the most incredible trip, and probably, as you all know, especially for me on Instagram, Ben got really poorly when we were in Lisbon. So when we were going from Lisbon to Barcelona, like, he was in an awful lot of pain, and when we got to Barcelona it actually meant that we had to fly home probably about a week earlier than expected. And this was like, it wasn't really an issue. Obviously it was quite sad for like how the trip ended and stuff, but obviously his health is so more important than anything else in the whole entire world. So we came home on, I think it was the Wednesday. We came home, yeah, so we came home on Wednesday the 12th, and then prior to that we hadn't trained since the 7th, and our first session back was yesterday. So we pretty much had like 9 to 10 days off training, and this is kind of what this video is about. So in terms of like having time off, how like to deal with it in some ways. People find it quite difficult to have time off the gym. I do. Eating different foods, eating way more food than I've been used to for the past 6 to 8 weeks whilst I've been cutting and shredding and everything like that. So this is what this video is about: getting back on track after some time off, after a holiday, after a trip, whatever you want to call it. Because before the trip we didn't really have a break in terms of like not shredding and not cutting. We did like two lots of shreds, and these were the Shred 1.0 and Shred 2.0 from the My Coach School. You can obviously still get those as well for anybody and everybody. You can join thousands of lucky people who are just on the school. I'll put links below for you in the description. But because of this we did get down to probably like the lowest body fat percentage like both of us have been at for a while. Ben's competed before, so obviously that'll be his lowest like years and years ago, but we kind of got to the best shape we possibly could for the trip. And then, as I said before, it didn't end how we wanted it to end because Ben got poorly and we came home. Barcelona was kind of the country that we wanted to pig out in a bit more, have some bevies, have some drinks, go out, have fun, eat more food. But because we didn't do that and we came home, and then because Ben was poorly, he couldn't really eat what we would usually eat in terms of like snacky kind of things, like yummy-esque food. I'm getting really cold, so I'm just gonna stick my jumper on. This is actually one of the old school Gymshark hoodies. It's Ben's and he gave it me, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know if he's actually given me it yet, but I've taken it. Yeah, so in terms of food, when we got back on that Wednesday 12th, we couldn't really eat anything because I didn't want to eat because he wasn't eating. It was just a bit like, he's kind of been told by the hospital to eat like bread and rice and potatoes and chicken, like very plain foods. So for a few days we were just kind of sticking to that. So from that whole week, from that Wednesday when we got back until the Monday yesterday, which was the 17th, we hadn't trained, we eaten whatever we like. And I kind of want to talk about in terms of like not training, how to get back on track, motivation, food, everything. So first things first, training. When we were away we pretty much trained 2 days and then off a day, 2 days and off a day, but it also depended on when we were traveling. So if we were flying somewhere and we couldn't have time to train, or we couldn't find a gym, there's a lot of cases where we couldn't find a gym where they were really, really expensive in some places. Like the gym in Venice, there was literally one gym in the whole of Venice that we could find, and it was really expensive, so we only went there once. And then we did like hit and home workouts, so it wasn't as much weight training too often whilst we were away. It was more so doing the hit workouts, keeping moving, doing things at home like the Paris apartment we had to do, and we'll make do with like home workouts and stuff, and I filmed those for school as well. So when you're traveling, don't worry if you cannot get to a gym. It's not the be all end all. If you don't want to train, you don't need to train. But because we were out there for work and we did want to stay in like obviously relatively good shape for the filming, we were training. But if you're just going on a holiday and you do want to keep yourself ticking over, just throwing some hit workouts, get your steps up. We were doing like 15 to 20,000 steps a day. Obviously get your knee up, they're so good for you walking around, you're expending energy. If you're just going for a chill holiday and you don't want to train, you do want to give your body a rest, give your body a rest. Like this coming from me, I wouldn't ever usually take a week off training or have like that amount of break. Like even when I had my knee surgery, I only had like 2 or 3 days off, and then I went back to it, just doing like some upper body, some really low mobility on my legs and things. But it is so important. I think this whole 9 days off training has massively taught me that if you have time off, it isn't going to affect your progress as much as you think it does. I guess if you have like months and months off, it will be more difficult to get back into it. Like 9 days is probably not a lot to some people, but when you haven't had like 2-3 days off in like 2 years, like 9 days is like such a long time for me. Rest and recovery is so important for your body, especially when you train 5 to 6 times a week. Even if you have a rest day in those weeks, your body still needs more time to recover. And me and Ben were speaking about, I think we got to a stage where we completely put ourselves into the ground. There was no glycogen, we had no glycogen stored, you couldn't get a pump on when we were training. It was just really difficult. And obviously when we were away, we were trying to stay in this shape. And don't put too much pressure on yourself is basically the conclusion. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to keep yourself moving a little bit and you don't have access to a gym, do some HIIT workouts, do some home workouts. You can also find them on the school or mine and Ben's Instagrams, whatever you want to do. And it is extremely good to give your body a rest. I'm not saying have like a week off and everything like all the time, just when you need it, when you need to deload, when you need to take a break, take a step back, have some time off, have some time to yourself. Don't feel guilty about eating food and not training. That was one of the things that I always like used to struggle with massively, was if I don't go to the gym, how am I going to eat? Which is silly. It's really silly, like a psychological thing anyway. So don't worry about like the food you're eating if you're having some time off. Obviously you can eat clean, eat however you want. We just obviously had a complete break from what we were usually eating, but don't feel like if you don't go to the gym you can't eat as you normally would. The workout that I did yesterday was the first session back, and I'm extremely sore today. My hamstrings oh, they're literally so sore, but it's gonna happen. If you haven't trained for a while, you're gonna get DOMS, you're gonna be sore for that full week, so don't worry about that, it's normal. I'm gonna put that workout in for you. Give the workout a go. It is a complete hamstring isolation session, phasic movements, a lot of power, and probably one of my step glutes, my favourite muscle groups to train. Okay, let's talk nutrition when off training and not training, and how to get back on track and stuff. So as I said, it was quite different for myself and Ben because we didn't go down the route of eating whatever we want, because we couldn't, because he was ill, and I wasn't going to eat all the stuff he wanted to eat because he was poorly, because that's not really fair. So we were just on plain foods for a little bit, but then we went down the route of having like making fajitas, enchiladas, like I had like loads and loads of cheese and everything like that. I made them a bit more like nourish, and had those like all the time. We went out for food when we could, when he was better. We made like double the amount of food we'd usually have. Obviously before the trip we were having this like, wasn't regimented, but it was just something we were so used to eat. It was like the veg, the stir fries, the chicken, the oats every morning. We just kind of had that. So like for breakfast this past 9 days I've been having like chocolate and just like randomly picking at things throughout the day, but not tracking, not using MyFitnessPal. Still keep my veggies up, because the first few days I didn't touch a vegetable and I just had like carbs, which for me really made me feel like horrendous, and I felt like very full and bloated all the time. So obviously like getting the veggies up and things, which is completely dependent on the person. I guess you don't have to do that if you're having time off, but for me it was really really nice to get some veggies back into my system, just like a broccoli or something. We basically snacked every evening in terms of like magnums, chocolate, ice cream, but not in excess amounts. It was just kind of like as and when we felt like it. It was very chilled. We didn't really move that much off the couch. We did a few walks, we caught up on a lot of work, we just spent loads of time with each other, which was really lovely. And as I said, throughout the day we were trying to drink loads as well, so having the 2 litre, you can get like 1 litre bottles of water, but you can get 2 litre bottles of water, like drinking those throughout the day and just keep refilling and refilling, because it does keep you fuller. And also I think when Ben initially got ill, it was because of dehydration, so we were so aware of not wanting anything to affect him more in terms of getting ill. So that's a massive one for anyone watching this. Hydration is so important. You've seen what it can do. It's like really damaging. You don't obviously realise you've got it until you're ill, and just be really on top of your hydration. Make sure you are still eating your veggies and your protein, keep your protein relatively high. It's obviously not as necessary when you're not training or you're just chilling and you're relaxing a bit, but keeping your veggies up makes you feel better. It really does, having some fruit there and then, but do whatever you want, enjoy it, and refill your glycogen, restore your body, and then whenever you're ready to go back to training, you'll feel fuller, you feel a bit weird because you're not used to it, but getting back into routine is not as hard as people say. So today and yesterday we've both done intermittent fasting again, so we start eating around 12 or 1 and we finished eating at around 8 because we do the 16-8 fasting. It's not a diet, it's just a way of eating. It's super easy, it's super simple. You just literally just push everything a little bit back so you've got more calories later in the day. So we've just gone back to that method on the Monday. If you want to try intermittent fasting, I have a whole video on it that you can have a look at as well, because I don't want to bore you talking about that in this video. I think one of the biggest ones for me, which was hard to do because I had so much chocolate in like the 9 days and like naughty foods, like in excess, like no food's really like naughty and bad, but like I had it in excess and so did Ben, but it's so trying to like cut it back down to normal for like starting this week fresh. So I've just got down to like 1 Kit Kat a day or like a little bit of chocolate, and I'll just like reduce it down, probably still have it like every single day, but it's not in like excess quantities. So if you want to try and cut things down, don't just completely cut it out because you'll crave it like mad. You might potentially binge. Just cut it down slowly and slowly, like change the options, like have some dark chocolate instead of like milk chocolate, have some chocolate rice cakes, have the Oppo or the Brewers ice cream, and just things like that. And it's just about substituting your options for the potentially healthier ones than what you've been having. In terms of motivation to get back to the gym, mine was actually like really high, but I was also scared to go back because I missed the gym so much, because I felt quite like it just wasn't me, because I trained so often. It was really strange not to go like every day, and then we obviously just didn't go. And then going back yesterday, I actually felt really nervous for some reason, because I think it's because I used to get like really bad gym anxiety. So like stepping back in the gym after like some time off, I was like, oh my god, I feel so weird. But it was absolutely fine. We had such a good session. It was just so nice to like be back in the gym, sweating, lifting weights, getting back into routine. We did more of a hypertrophy session. We're not really doing strength yet, just because Ben is still not 100%, so there's no point like pushing in that way in terms of what weight we're lifting. We're not bothered about that. So if you're coming back into training after some time off, just do things that you enjoy to get back into it. Do more hypertrophy work. I wouldn't suggest strength work as much, so don't expect to be lifting like the heaviest you've ever lifted straight away in that like first couple of days. Just take time with the exercises, focus on your form. You will probably have to drop the weight a little bit, and that's fine. If you want to get a bit sweaty, do some WODs, do some HIIT workouts. Just do things you enjoy. Don't make it stressful, because if you don't want to go back, if you're thinking in your head, I've got this horrible session planned, or I don't want to do my boring workout, I've no program to follow, just find something on Instagram, find something on the school, get a workout and just go in. You don't even need like a ridiculously hard one. It's just something for you to get back into it. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, just something that you'll enjoy, that you'll go to the gym like, oh, that's actually really good, I feel really good from that session. Just one final thing I wanted to address was something that I actually spoke about on Instagram a little bit, in terms of like worrying about having time off, not going to the gym, and like your physique changing and feeling horrible and anxious and worried. It can happen. It massively happened to me. I started to feel really like worried all the time, because I always feel like going to the gym just makes me so happy, and I release like, not stress, but I release like a lot of like into the gym, and it's just like a really good place to go to for like a headspace and stuff. And because I didn't go for that amount of time, I kept overthinking things and getting worried and kept thinking about the food I was eating. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to turn into a piece of bread, I'm going to turn into a bread roll. But it is completely psychological, and it's absolutely wonderful and fabulous and needed to have time off, especially when you've hit a plateau, or you're just not enjoy training, or you're on holiday, or you just feel like you've trained so long you just need some time off. Just have the time off. It's coming from a person who doesn't take that much time off, and not a workaholic, but I enjoy work so much in terms of like actual work, like that kind of work, and there's like gym work. So both of them, I never really rest. I'm the same as Ben, we love it so much, but listen to your body. When you need it, you need it. Don't compare yourself to anyone else. They might be doing something completely different to you. Have a look at how you're feeling, listen to your body, and I'm gonna stop blabbing, but this is kind of just like a how to get back on track, chatty, random video. Obviously the hamstring workouts in here as well. If you haven't caught up on the travel vlogs, obviously I did end up doing Lisbon and Barcelona because Ben was poorly, and it just wasn't, we were so busy in Lisbon, we didn't even have time. We did not, like, it was just non-stop work, eating at like 12 p.m, it was just so hectic. Obviously Barcelona, we flew home, so we've got Paris, Amsterdam, Berlin and Venice. So please watch those vlogs, let me know what you think, and then I can't wait to be back on YouTube more and more because I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.